Hi guys, welcome back to my channel where I share my spiritual journey, my healing journey, the good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between, nothing but authenticity here. So I want to talk about why is it when you're down and you could be going through something like that and people ditch, you know what I mean? Or they're not there, and I want to talk about for instance my narc story, and this person wasn't, all this stuff that went down in my situation, walked away and kicked me pretty much when I was down. And it wasn't there for me when I was going through my evolving, when I was trying to figure out this connection, all this stuff like that. Blatantly ignored me, didn't discuss nothing with me. Okay. And I mean, I went through so much, but this was, at the time, unhealed, masculine energy, chose to be my enemy and, work against me, and all this stuff, I knew eventually all the stuff what's done in the dark was come to the light. All this, awakening, all this stuff, all the truth is going to come out. Anyways, and this left me high and dry, you know what I mean? I wasn't fully healed. I wasn't awakened. And again, like I shared, my story, the way they treat you is the way they see you, you know what I mean? But also as a way that, they think of themselves, but anyways, just was treated so poorly. This person was not there for me, was out here, living it up and, living his best life, chose to go in another connection. All this stuff left me high and dry, okay? And it's not just this person, and through my path as an empath, I had to learn, the hard way, and part of our lessons and, having a good heart and stuff like that is that you have to learn the people that you're down, you know what I mean? Always. And this is where, again, my relationship comes strong with God, because people always let you down no matter what. And God will never let you down. And this is another reason why I've come so strongly in my relationship with God, because he's been there through everything, through all my hard times, through all my good, everything like that. And he sees everything and what he has for me and everything like that. And he also seen people that were no good for me, and like I said, these people are in the past. And anyways, and I went through so much, and we're going to talk a lot about that. And now that I've healed and I evolved and I'm not this transformed, this is what happens when you heal, you evolve, you transform. Your mindset's not the same as where you were when you were unhealed, right? And that point two is that, why would you want somebody to take advantage of you if you were naive, even looking, or vulnerable or anything like that? Why would you want someone like that to take advantage? That's what happened in my situation. Took advantage of me, you know what I mean? But why would you want somebody in your life that's going to do that when you're at a vulnerable stage of your life? You want people that are going to be real and honest and not take advantage of you, you know what I mean? And so that's another thing I learned. And, and again, very thankful, but it's crazy, right? And I happens a lot, family, all stuff like that, and was there for everybody, you know what I mean? And when I needed someone, no one was there for me, you guys. I still get emotional about this thing. And so once you heal and you evolve, for me, I am super, super sensitive, because I'm in this, I work from, this in the spiritual realm, you know what I mean? And so, and once you evolve and you heal and, and it's just unbelievable. It's beautiful too. You know what I mean? And as we get talking about, my story and stuff like that. And, it's funny because I still have, after all this stuff, the most beautiful heart ever, you know what I mean? And just still more sensitive, even more sensitive. Once I healed, the more and more, I got more and more sensitive, you know what I mean? It's just a beautiful thing. And I thank God, you know what I mean? Coming through this and breaking what I went through. And I'm thankful for the heart that God has given me, and to go through my life, and especially these last 15 years of my healing journey. And, when you're a light for the Lord, even before you know it, that man downstairs knows that, you know what I mean? So multiple times try to break in it, you know what I mean? Or, how to say it, diluting it, all this stuff like that. And, it get me stronger and stronger, you know what I mean? And then as I healed and walked in, kept focusing on myself and healing and stuff like that, I kept more and more into my authenticity, you know what I mean? Because that's what happens when you heal. You become more into yourself. You know who you are. You love who you are. You love who God created you. You know what I mean? And to the point you're like really, like I am really, really into who I am. And like I said, built a strong foundation, stuff like that. But I just wanted to talk about that. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, wow, you know, and it's funny because they think you're nothing, or, you know, this is the mindset. It really is. When someone treats you like that, right? And this is where God will use those people and take them and transform them. And it's like, whoa, you know what I mean? Like, and like I shared in my life story, was just so disrespectful. You know, I mean, my situation, stuff like that. And, I mean, just very, very nasty, you know what I mean? And I'm sitting here like, wow. And kindness and love and, you know, is not a weakness. It's actually a strength. You know what I mean? And I still continue to give it. Now I just like, I'm evolved and I'm awakened and stuff like that. So I know who to give it to and who not to. I know how to use it. You know what I mean? Like, and, just again, still out here genuine because I, you know, God's will, you know what I mean? Like I got to go out here and plant powerful seeds in love, you know? Anyways, and so just sharing this part seed I had to plant was with a narcissist, and, you know, and I had to go through all this. I just, like I said, these are counterfeits, and you're called to even, you know, show these people it's a mirror. As I evolved more, I got more and more information, and it's like a mirror to transform what needs to be healed, you know. And I look at this person, and this person showed me a lot in my life that, you know, I needed to heal, you know, and what not to allow and tolerate, you know what I mean? And because I did, you know, and my unhealed version tolerated a lot of abuse, you know what I mean? And didn't deserve that. No one deserves that, you know what I mean? And so, but, you know, and then I healed that, and it's like the opposite now. It's like, nope, you know what I mean? Like, and I'm very thankful that I healed those wounds, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, in these connections, you know what I mean? This special mind, they were a mirror, whether this person chooses or not. Real, true love, I'm going to tell you that right now, you guys. It helps you grow, helps you evolve, helps you see things in yourself that is not okay, you know what I mean? And that's ugly or nasty about you, you know what I mean? And the truth hurts, you know what I mean? And it has to, of course, you come from someone you care and stuff like that. And anyways, and so in the beginning, when I was going through my process, in my story, stuff like that, I was choosing to use this person as a mirror, and all the stuff and the way I was treated, all that stuff like that. Right. And I used that to heal all those things that were, you know, I was like, wow, I can't believe I let something like this in my life. I can't believe I allowed this. I can't believe I allowed this. It's like, ew, what's wrong with me? You know what I mean? Like, and then it's like, I heal those wounds, you know what I mean? Like, and, anyways, and it's part of your evolving and healing. It's like, you know, and so I'm thankful that I can acknowledge, and I, again, use this bad to transform and alchemize that, you know what I mean? And to turn it into, you know, and use it for God's glory. And that's what he did. And again, that's another one where I do it for the glory, you guys. I do it all for the glory. But anyways, God is just unbelievable, and my transformation is unbelievable. And when you really are healing and you're really doing the work, you know, and, you know, I chose to, you know, since 2010, you know, and this was just another part of my journey. And when I came across the narc in my situation, yeah, there was another trial, you know, and this person, you know, thought, I mean, it started all this stuff, you know what I mean? Like, don't start no stuff, won't be no stuff, right? Anyway, started all this, like, I mean, chose to be from the start, you guys. And I just walked away from this person, you know what I mean? Because this person chose to go and third parties, all this stuff like that, right? And so in my mind, I was like, no, deuces. And then all this stuff went down, you know what I mean? And we're going to talk about a lot of stuff that I went through in my situation, and betrayal, and you know what I mean? And again, like I said, I was dealing with a really, really, you know, egotistical, prideful person, you know, didn't think he had the power, nothing like that, you guys. Anyways, and so I don't need that now. You know, once you evolve, you learn, you know, to heal, you learn to, you know what I mean? Like, you learn to turn that, you know what I mean? Like, and you just learn about people, you know, and good, nasty, you know, and you pray for them, you know what I mean? Like, and it's funny because I said, I'm trying to stay on topic, but it's funny, you know what I mean? Like, and it's like, you're just sitting there, I mean, just the beauty. I tell God every day that I'm just thankful for this, because a lot of people don't have this, you know what I mean? And I'm very thankful from my heart, you guys. Like, I know I've been hurt a lot, but I'm so thankful to have this, because we're very rare, you know what I mean? And then it's like a magical, you know? and it's like, zoop, and it heals up. And then I go back out there and do my thing again. And I do it again. And I do it again. You know what I mean? And it's like, oh my gosh. And when I tell you it's been crushed, okay? And that's why I said, like, God, I think you just, done something, and give me magical or whatever, you know what I mean? But because that's what a healer does. We heal, you know what I mean? And that's another one, we'll get into it. But anyways, I just wanted to share, like, why do people think when you're down and they're not there for you, and then they're going through, when people hurt you or do anything wrong, you can't hide that from the God or the universe, so that's going to come back to them tenfold. So now they're in the middle of their stuff like that, and they want your help, but where were they when I needed help? Where were they when I was hurting? Where were they mocking, talking, you know what I mean? Like, and, living it up, like in the next situation was living his best life, talking all this stuff, and I just don't get that, you know what I mean? Like, and there's forgiveness, but then when it's then going through that stuff, it's like, oh, you know what I mean, or healing, or like, mind you, what we put out is what we get back. We do it to ourselves, you know what I mean? So you're constantly putting love back, I'm constantly getting love, you know what I mean? You're constantly putting hate out, you're constantly gonna get hated, you know what I mean? And so I just don't understand, you guys, why people think they could come back in when they weren't there for you, when you were down and out, when you had to pick yourself up, and whether you open a business or whatever it is, right? Where was that person? Where was that person for you? You know what I mean? Where was those people for me? You know what I mean? Where were they when me? You know what I mean? Like, and like I said, my story, I went through a lot, and man. But anyways, and so a lot in my life and stuff like that, and just a graceful person, and then I have a mindset of the Lord's mindset. So he's given me, the way he sees things, everything like that. You give people grace, you forgive them, but it doesn't mean that you have to have those people back in your life. You know what I mean? And depending on, the situation, and every situation is different, but, especially if someone intentionally was hurting you, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm so thankful for God, the heart he's given me. And, I just, I don't understand that. You know what I mean? It's like, no, you know what I mean? Like, you weren't there for me to help me build and to raise me up and to speak life into me and believe in me. No, you did the opposite. You know what I mean? And, right? And it's like, oh, no, but I always, in my situation, lifted this person, encourage this person when it's down, all that stuff, you know what I mean? Because I always give people the benefit of the doubt, you know what I mean? I don't come across them and judge them right away until, they show me the true colors, like this situation. And I always lift, inspire people, everybody, you guys. And this is what happened with this person. He got a little, how can you say it? The hand that fed him got a little, how do you say it? Cocky and like arrogant and bit the hand that fed him, you know what I mean? And the person that, again, was a good friend, was trying to be a friend, all that stuff like that, and we'll talk more. But, and turned around and, and treated me like crap, guys, like a lot of things, you know what I mean? Like counting me out, all this stuff like that. So, anyway, so now I got back up, I healed, I evolved, beautiful, energy, stuff like that. And so I'm just very thankful, you know what I mean? Like, but, for God, and just my heart. And that's what I said, you forgive in your heart and between you and God, you know what I mean? And that's what you need to do, you know what I mean? And like I said, and God sees that in your life, you know what I mean? And, in my situation, you know what I mean? But anyways, I just wanted to share, like why people think, and then they want telling you so many things. And I'm sitting here like, and where were all these people when I needed it? You know what I mean? Or when I needed inspiration, or, you know what I mean? Just because I'm a healer, or just because I'm gifted or anointed or God's called me doesn't mean I'm the only one I should receive that back. You know what I mean? All my life I've seen that, you know what I mean, you guys? And, and throughout my journey, well, I guess this is really hit me a little bit. But throughout my journey, I had to deal with a lot of this, you know what I mean? And no one was there. I was always the one giving energy. And not just that, you're called, you're anointed, you're gifted and stuff like that, but you have to go through a process to see who you are and really heal, right? And so these people, they see it before you see it, and this is where God had to remove and show me people's true colors, you know what I mean? Because they were not my real friends, And so anyways, and it hurt, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it hurt a lot in my past. A lot of people really took advantage and then didn't take accountability, nothing like that, And so, but I healed and I've evolved, all that, you guys, and stuff. And now I just don't want people in my life. Certain people in my life are not welcome in my life. You know what I mean? And I healed, you know what I mean? Like, and that's all, I was healed in grace and stuff like that. But there's just certain people, you just don't know, you know what I mean? Like, and, it's just like, no, you're not gonna, come into ING. You go and deal with whatever you need to deal with, you know what I mean? But like, you get what I'm saying? And, again, you could pray, lift these people up, but you reap what you sow, and now if you're sowing, they're God's sowing back into their life, especially this person, what they put into my life, you know what I mean? Like, when we didn't even have to deal with that, we shouldn't have had to go through none of that stuff. This whole process that I went through, I should have never had to go through, you know what I mean? Yeah, and God sees your pure heart, you know what I mean? Like, I had such a pure heart. And so good, you know what I mean? Like, so good. And, yeah, so, but anyways, I healed so much, you guys. So now I am, like I said, I'm healing through more, now I'm speaking. I healed so much, but then there's also healing through, how do you say it? Sharing your story and stuff like that. There's more healing. That's what the Lord was telling me, that you're going to heal more through, opening up more and talking about more. And I went through all this and I just really wanted to heal, I guess. It took me a process, and I'm very thankful because I healed so much, you guys. And but I still have, like, I guess a little bit as I speak. But anyways, yeah. And I went through like a process where no one was there for me, and I was alone through all this stuff, and stealing and taking. We'll share more, elaborate more, but but I was the one giving, see, I want everybody to win, you know what I mean? Even before I win, right? So I always give and I make sure everybody's good, right? And then, like I said, in my story, we'll get more into that, but we got very greedy and nasty. And, just like I share with, I talk about, Lucifer and how he got kicked out of heaven because he got greedy, wanted God's throne. Well, remember, you'll know them by their fruits, God's people by their fruits, but you also know the devil by their fruits as well. You know what I mean? Manipulative, liar, greedy, all this stuff like that, anyways. And so this is the way he showed me in my process, but anyways, and so this is why, people who they are, and so, but anyways, I am so grateful, you guys, and to God. And, not just that, I'm grateful and I'm thankful because this process, and I thank these people because it helped me elevate. It helped me see what I needed to see. See, bad is not just, you know what I mean? Like, bad. If you really take it and look at it the Lord's way and process this, you're looking at it like, wow, thank you for teaching me that. You know what I mean? Thank you for teaching what greediness, what nasty is, what selfishness is. Thank you for not teaching me what I don't want in my life, what I don't like, what I feel around you. You know what I mean? Like, always to, remember how you feel around those people. You know what I mean? Do you like the way you feel? Is it, or, that's another one, and, or do they make you feel like lifted up or, you know what I mean? Like, and, anyways, and stuff like that. And so, but I'm thankful, and one thing as I was processing and healing and spending time with the Lord and this, is that I'm thankful. I'm really thankful because not just that I rose up. I was stronger than I was before. I'm wiser than I was before. Now I have all this information. Thank you for showing me that, and thank you for showing me your true colors. You know what I mean? Like, and this is what a seed planter is too, you guys. Like, you come across, narcissists, you know what I mean? Like, and you get a betrayal, like that, what I went through. It's not just a betrayal. It's God's using me, you know what I mean? To plant seeds. It's not easy. This is not all glitters and gold. And you know what I mean? Like, and I share the truth, you know what I mean? About when you serve God and you plant powerful seeds. Woo, sorry, go. You plant powerful seeds and it's not easy. You know what I mean? When you give your life to God and you're out here, you're doing his will and you are transforming and changing people's lives. God, I mean, the devil is mad. You know what I mean? Mad. And you know what I mean? And so I am just powerful, and I know who I am now. You know what I mean? Like, but I don't want people to think, oh, serving God is so glitter. Everything is just, oh my God, and all the accolades. Because when you're a real one for God, we don't care about, no, what is it? Materialistic things? What is it when we get there? When, you know, they say when you get there, what, when you have a platform or when you have money, or what is it? Because when we serve God whether we have nothing or you have everything. Because that's what a real one does. You know what I mean? We go out here, do all this stuff. I still was serving God. I still got up. No matter what. And still came out here and gave love to people. In the middle of my crucifixion, in the middle of my pain. And God was there for me. You know what I mean? And that's what serving God is. That's what real love is. My actions show God, I still love you. I don't care if I don't have nothing, or I'm going through all this stuff and this pain and betrayal. And you know what I mean? At one point in time, you know what I mean? Like, there are like, how can I say it? Like, and it's so funny because that scripture says, apart from me, you could do nothing, right? And I did so much and I had nothing, you guys, nothing. I mean, like, you should, oh man, we're gonna get into so much. I have so much talked about. And I'm just sitting here like, wow, you know, but it's so cool because I'm making a huge difference. You know what I mean? Like, and I can't tell you guys how thankful I am. And if you guys just seen the pain I went through, it's like, how can I be so grateful? I should be bitter, right? But these people are bitter, you know what I mean? I'm not bitter, you know what I mean? Like, I'm grateful, you know? And it's like crazy, right? But this is what having the Holy Spirit is, and God teaching you, you know what I mean? And I get so excited because I'm genuinely helping people. I mean, and then things, you know, when people sit there and tell me like, thank you, and, you know, or, you know, they share things with me and stuff like that, it's like, it makes me feel powerful. You know what I mean? That's what give me power and light and to keep doing what I do, you know? Not money, not being, having a platform, nothing, you know what I mean? A lot of stuff I do behind doors, you know what I mean? I love it, like me and Jesus, you know what I mean? What does it say, that scripture say? Don't show your right hand what your left hand is doing? And I was doing this naturally without even knowing it, and then I was learning scripture as I was doing it, you know what I mean? And then you'll have, you know, counterfeits, which I share, we'll talk a lot more about that, but the narcissists are counterfeits in this world, right? Look at me, look at me, look at me, you know what I mean? They're in it for, not for what they, but because they genuinely care, because what they could gain from it, you know what I mean? I was just sharing with my friend too, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just thankful though to have the outlook and the attitude that he's given me, you know what I mean? Like, and like I said, I've been out here, I've been through so much in my life, and I still treat people like good. There's no excuse, you know what I mean? There's no excuse whatsoever. We go through so much. I've been through so much in my life, and there's no excuse to go out in this world and mistreat people, you know what I mean? So you have to go within, you know, and go within and heal, you know what I mean? Like, and I see people all the time, and I give grace in this world, you guys, evangelists. I go out here and mistreat people, and now, but I've elevated so much, I don't say nothing. I'll say a simple prayer or whatever, but I say, not today, Satan, you know what I mean? And there's so much, people are so bitter out here, you guys, like, and it's crazy, and I'm still full of light, and I'm like, wow, you know, that's the gift of the Holy Spirit. That's what you show people. Wow, I need what she has. You need God. You need Jesus. That's what you have. That's what I have. Because, I mean, like, I'm telling you, I'm a testimony. You know what I mean? And, anyways, I just want to talk about this, you know, and talk about a little bit of everything. But, anyways, but yeah, why is it people, you know, they doubt you. They're not there for you when you're down. And that's where you should be. I, like so many people in my life, I've helped when they're not down and help them rise up, because I love it. That's someone that loves Christ. You know what I mean? We want people to win. We want people to, we want to see people rise up. I always put everybody before me because I don't care. You know what I mean? Like, I always did. That's what a beautiful heart does. You know what I mean? Because I know God got me. I just love. And that's what you think. You love seeing people elevate, not greedy, entitled people that you help and they take advantage and stuff like that. But genuine people. I go out here, help them all the time, and they're sitting there rising up. You know what I mean? And I just trust God. You know what I mean? Like that God, and you trust God. I went through so much, you guys, and trusted God, and you know what I mean? My timing and stuff like that. And just helping, helping, and just having that passion. It's like, I don't know how to explain. You just generally have this gift that you just, I don't know, you just love seeing people make it, real people, genuine people, you know what I mean? Like, I love seeing those people make it, you know what I mean? And I love that about myself, you know what I mean? Like, and even if I don't have it, like, I've given my shoes, I was like, it's okay, I'll figure it out, or have a roof, or have this, you know what I mean? And this person's in the, snow, and you know what I mean? So that was the mindset I had, it's like, here you go, and then just to see them warm, or, you know what I mean? Like, you generally care, you know what I mean? Like, and I know there's not a lot of us left in this world, or we're praying, and I'm praying for a lot of people's hearts, you know what I mean? Like, it's crazy because it's like crazy after all this stuff I went through, and I still, like, I tell God, like, I don't know who I am, you know what I mean? He's like, you're mine, honey, you're mine. That's why you have that heart. And I'll share a joke too. But anyways, I just wanted to share that, like, why does people think, you can join them when they're up, when you should have been there and believing in them and lifting them up and encouraging them, and you know what I mean? Instead, you do the opposite. But then you want to come and join them when they're rising up, when they're receiving whatever God has for them in their life, or, you know what I mean? And you want to come now, you know what I mean? Like, where were you when I needed you? You know what I mean? Where were you when I needed you? Anybody, you know what I mean? And it's a hurtful thing, and it's okay, though, because we learn, long as you're learning. But it's just learning that. And then one thing I learned is not everybody has a heart like mine. I know that, you guys. And like, when I share with you guys, like, how much tears I've cried on my journey because of my heart, But I wouldn't stop doing what I do. You know what I mean? Like, it's like I was born for this shit. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like, it's like God brings me these people and they just light up. It's like a divine encounter, and these people light up, and it just makes me keep doing it. You know what I mean? And it's like, I could be hurting, or I could be, what I went through with this person, like, I was still out there, you know what I mean? Just lighting people up. It's just like, it's like built in me, you know what I mean? I can't stop, I can't stop loving, But anyways, God bless you guys. I'll see you on my next video. I know it's a little bit long, but it's a little everything, but I just wanted to just let go, I have a lot of things to say, and it's like, my friend was just like, just say, you know what I mean? And, but anyways, yes, and this is, just healing more with you guys, and, now healing, going further, and healing, what's it called? Where you heal with others as well. You did a lot of healing, but now you could heal with other energies, and speaking into you and stuff like that. But God bless you guys, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye.